Okay, so carrying on from our quick look at the top 10 US states for channel viewership, we're now looking at the top 10 towns and cities for channel viewership. Now, the majority of the towns and cities on this list, about half of them, are in the UK. Not a surprise. It's the locations in the UK that surprise me. There are some notable cities that don't make the top 10. Also, what is very interesting from looking at this is that not a single city from the US or Canada makes the top 10. That was a massive shock to me. Massive shock that not a single Canadian or US city has cracked the top 10. Really surprised by that, and I'm head scratching as to why, because both the Canadians and the US made the top 10 for countries. When we did that video and looked at the data of that a few months ago, both Canada and the US were in the top 10 for viewership of nations where people are from, but not a single US or Canadian city makes the top 10. There are also some quite sizable cities in the UK that don't make the top 10 as well. Again, massive surprise. But anyway, let's have a look at the top 10. I haven't used the percentage of views all time on the channel because the percentages are really small, but it is a surprise how it works out. So in 10th place is Brisbane, Australia. Not surprised Brisbane is in the top 10, considering the amount of NRL content I have done. But I'm surprised with the amount of NRL content I've done, Brisbane isn't higher. That's the only surprise, really. 9th place is Grimsby. Now that is a surprise. Not surprised it's in the UK, obviously a UK location makes the top 10, but I'm surprised it's Grimsby that is the lowest in the top 10 of the UK locations. Stunned by that. Done a couple of videos on Grimsby Football Club, but really stunned that Grimsby makes the top 10. 8th place, I'm surprised how low it is, but I'm not surprised it's in the top 10, and that's Birmingham in the UK and the West Midlands. Second biggest city in the UK after London, so I'm not surprised Birmingham's there. Done a lot of content on the football clubs based in Birmingham and the surrounding West Midlands, so I'm not surprised Birmingham is in the top 10. I'm a little bit surprised, however, that it's 8th. Bearing in mind I'm a British-based YouTuber, a little bit surprised by that. Sydney, Australia, I'm not surprised Sydney's made the top 10, again with the NRL content that we've done. But I am surprised it's only one of 2 Australian cities to make the top 10. A little bit surprised by that. It's a massive city, over 5 million people. A little bit surprised it is where it is, but I'm not surprised it's in the top 10. 6th place is Port Moresby in Papua New Guinea. Now, I am a little bit surprised that this city is still in the top 10. Yes, we've done a lot of rugby league content with the Rugby League World Cup and the NRL. And rugby league is the national sport of Papua New Guinea, but I'm surprised Port Moresby continues to this day to be a top 10 location for viewership. That stuns me, absolutely stuns me, that PNG and Port Moresby, its capital, is in sick. That is a stunner. That one is, I was not expecting that at all. The top 5 is where it gets really interesting with 2 unexpected towns in the top 5. So Kidderminster comes in at 5th. And just above it is another local town to the West Midlands, is Redditch, comes in at 4th. Now, they're both near Birmingham. I am surprised that Kidderminster and Redditch are above Birmingham for viewership, but I'm not surprised that several areas of the West Midlands, for example, are in the top 10, considering the amount of content I have done in regards to football clubs from the West Midlands and match reviews of football clubs from the West Midlands. But I am surprised that 2 of the satellite towns of Birmingham are above it. Just shows how big the fan bases are of Aston Villa, Birmingham City and West Brom, for example, who are based in Birmingham, how big their reach actually is with fans on the outskirts of Birmingham in the surrounding suburban towns and satellite towns and cities. So that is where I see that link there, but I am surprised they're above Birmingham. 3rd place does surprise me is London. I thought London would be 1st. I was wrong. London comes in at 3rd in the UK. Now, London is a massive city, one of the biggest cities. It's the 2nd or 3rd biggest city in the whole of Europe, if you class European Russia. Massive city, huge metropolitan area. All the football clubs in London have fan bases that stretch out into the home county. So, if you know your geography, the football clubs in London, their reach, their catchment area goes south, east, west, north of the city. I am surprised, however, that London is 3rd and not 1st. That's the only surprise with London being in the top 10 is it's not 1st. Above London is Auckland in New Zealand. That stuns me a little bit. That does stun me somewhat. But at the same time, Auckland is a very metropolitan city. With the amount of NRL and rugby union, rugby league content we've done, I'm not surprised it's in the top 10. And with the cricketing content as well to a certain extent, but I am surprised it's second. Very popular in New Zealand, apparently. And first place still is Dublin. Dublin overtook London and Auckland in recent months to become top. So when I looked at this data around New Year's, when I did the top 10 countries list, Dublin was not even in the top 10. Massive surge in viewership from Dublin in Ireland, and it's remained the top city for viewers ever since it's hit top. The gap has grown between Dublin and the rest. Since it's hit first place, it's continued to grow. So Dublin is the top city in the channel's history where people view from. But as I say, some notable absentees. No Manchester, no Liverpool, no Leeds, no Newcastle, no Glasgow, no Edinburgh, for example. Cities in Europe where there's not making the top 10. Barcelona, Madrid, Paris, Rome. Although Rome was actually quite high, it was in the top 20, doesn't make the top. Milan, Berlin, Dortmund, Munich, Hamburg, for example. These big cities, big sporting cities, not making the top 10. As I say, the absence of any city from the US or Canada making the top 10 is stunning, considering the amount of views that the US has had all time in the channel's history, coming in at second. Stunned not a single city from the US is not there. Canada making the top 10 on the nations list. Not a single city in Canada makes the top 10. So that's another surprise. But there we go. There's the top 10 towns and cities channel viewers are from. There are some surprises on this list, most notably Redditch, Kidderminster and Grimsby, even making the top 10. And there's some notable omissions from that top 10 where people are viewing from where they're just not viewing, which is Manchester, Liverpool, etc. And there we go. Where are you from? Where are you viewing from? Please place your location in the comment section below. What city or town or wherever you are in the world, wherever you're viewing from. I would like to know where you're from. Place your comments and thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll have some more content for you very, very soon.